We have several deals currently in due diligence. A couple are, I would call, lagging a bit, and that's taking a bit of an emotional toll on our client. My name's kdee, President of Osage Advisors. Welcome back to this week's Big Hurdle. Sometimes the diligence process doesn't go as smoothly as expected. We currently have a deal that we're working on, and it's not that it is anybody's fault. Just things happen, right? I mean, when you test for your financials, you test for your inventory, and you need additional testing to get the buyer comfortable. In this case, it was a environmental situation that popped up. And we're currently working through the steps to get that finalized, but you got to bring in outside resources. You got to bring in consultants. You got to do testing. So what does that do, right? It extends the process. And when you extend the process, for getting this test done, which it's going to work out fine. Everybody's comfortable with it. But then, you're now 2 or 3 months behind where you were. So what does that mean? What does that happen? And you got to think about this, is that all of a sudden the buyer's going to come back to you and say, well, look, we need updated financials. We need updated sales logs. We need updated backlogs. We need updated pipelines, because buyers are always looking at the latest data. So if all of a sudden you get behind, and they're banks too, right? They have lenders who are lend to them. And so you're sitting there and you're saying to yourself, this is a client, when is this going to end? And our job is to say, look, let's keep the end game in mind, right? Let's provide them with the information, right? They're going to ask for it immediately, but if you need a couple of weeks, you need some time to get it together, you take it, right? And unfortunately, we're not going to close this deal till the environmental is done anyways, and the report's in, which is 6 weeks away, maybe 7 weeks away, maybe 2 months. We don't know if we find something else, but you got to take a deep breath, kind of decompress and say, don't lose sight of the end game. So here's the latest financials. Here's my latest backlog. Here's my latest pipeline. Of course, they're going to look at, they want to do additional analysis on your SKUs or something else. And, it's trying to keep it in a frame of mind where, it's going to work out. You have a willing buyer who is committed to the deal, who's invested a lot of resources on their end. So that, and including the legal documents, right? So they're not just going to pull away and walk away from a couple $100,000 or even more investment. And they want the deal to work, but they have responsibilities to their investors. They have responsibility to their team, and they have responsibility to fulfill their obligations to people asking for information from them. So I think it's really an area that can be, can be very stressful on our clients. And what we do is, and I had this conversation with, with my son who works for Osage yesterday. He's like, when you don't hear from somebody, is like, you pick up the phone and just talk through it, right? Just talk through the concerns, just talk through why it's needed. Just you need someone as a sounding board, right? And that's us. That's Osage. That's your banker, right? Just to kind of talk through your frustrations in a deal, so that you can vent. We're there to vent against the vent, and just so you don't typically a business, you don't have anybody, right? You have your lawyer, of course, right? But your banker, like us, is there to be a sounding board. So you can just kind of like blow off some steam, and relax and understand, keep your eye on the end game. You have a committed buyer, right? They're ready to do, this is a deal that works for you. We've gone through our auction process. They had the best price, the best terms. They have the best team. Don't lose sight of that end game, right? So when you're in a situation, through the due diligence process, which most of our clients have never been through before, right? Transparency and communication with your team is important. You need to be able to speak your mind. Don't let things fester. There's reasons why people ask for things. It's important to the final process so we can get the deal closed. And if you're frustrated with it, which is not uncommon, it's practically, I would say 100% of the time, it's very frustrating because you've never been through it before and it's kind of a constant flow. When is this all going to end, right? The thing is to pick up the phone, is to talk through why they need it. Just let yourself vent, right? We had two situations this week. One I just talked about, another one where it's a much better place, but they're getting, okay, when are we going to close, right? It's like, okay, we're getting closer. We're almost there. We got a X, Y, and Z, and we're going to be fine, right? So, but as I said earlier, it's like, if we hear quiet or silence or crickets, so to speak, from our clients, I instruct our team, or I pick up the phone all the time anyways, and say, hey, just checking in. How's it going? How you feeling? And just talk it through, because it's just a good thing, right? At the end of the day, you're selling your business for a reason, right? And that reason could lead to other things you want to do, could lead to retirement, could lead to maybe participating with the business move. There's a number of reasons, but you went through this process because you were motivated to sell your company and you have the right buyer. So keep your, if you're frustrated, if you're about things, you pick up the phone, give your banker a call like us and work through it. At the end of the day, you're going to feel better about it. You got to blow off some steam. We understand that's what we're here for, is to help you through that. These things are important, but you don't want to be in a position where you're overly stressed or anxious or frustrated of what's going on, right? So again, the due diligence process can be very stressful as things start to drag on because of things outside your control. Let's work through them together. That's what we're here for. And I hope that you have a good takeaway from this. Again, my name's kdee, President of Osage Advisors. Thanks for being with us this week for this week's biggest hurdle. If you enjoy this podcast, you can subscribe to our YouTube channel, The Ins and Outs of Selling a Business. To learn more about Osage Advisors, you can visit us at osageadvisors.com. If you have any questions, please feel free to email me at kdee@osageadvisors.com. or pick up the phone or give me a call at 860-767-3273, extension 1001. Thanks again for being with us, and have a great day.